Welcome back, Pokemon fans. Angel of the Night 091 here, coming at you with an exciting Wi-Fi battle versus my good old buddy Retro Knight. Now, as you guys know, on May 30th, the Pokemon Company released Pokemon Home for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. By doing this, they allowed us to bridge all of the previous generations to Scarlet and Violet, as well as, for example, Legends Arceus Pokemon. Now, this is my very first Pokemon battle using Hisui Pokemon, and as you guys can see, I've brought my shiny Braviary over from the Hisui region. So, our opponent, Retro Knight, had led off with a Hisui Decidueye, and of course he swapped out to a Hisui Goodra. Now, for ease of commentary here today, I won't be saying Hisui the entire time, so we're just going to go with the regular names. So, Goodra takes that hit from Braviary like a champ. As you guys know, the Goodra species usually has a pretty high special defense. So, I know at this point Braviary is a special attacker in this situation, and isn't going to be able to do very much onto Retro's Goodra. So we're going to actually swap out here. We're going to go into our own Goodra, the former Alpha, and we actually got hit by a pretty decent body press there. And one thing that I have to say with the Goodra of this series, it's definitely odd looking. I don't know if you guys really have taken a look. Great big giant shell on its back. But essentially, the thing with Goodra is that you're always going to want to have it more of a bulky Pokemon, more so than an outright attacker. Now, with my Goodra, for example, I actually happen to have an Assault Vest onto it with 248 HP and 252 special defense. Now, with that being said, there are a few things that can actually knock out this Goodra in pretty much one hit. One, I'm assuming probably this Typhlosion can probably do some serious work. So we're actually going to call back our Goodra. We're going to go into Arcanine. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am super pumped. I'm really excited to be able to use this Arcanine because of very specific reasons. Now, this Arcanine has the ability Rock Head. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, be sure to take a look and look it up. I won't be going over all of the ins and outs of all of the abilities, but the big thing here with this Arcanine, I was really excited to be able to use Head Smash and Raging Fury. Now, if you guys don't know what Raging Fury is a fire type move that is 120 power and basically attacks 3 turns in a row. Now, mind you, when you do that, you are going to have some sort of a Lumberry onto your Arcanine because of the fact of the confusion after the fact. Same thing as if you'd like Outrage. So it's basically the fire Outrage. So he ended up getting his Typhlosion knocked out by that Head Smash. Just one hit, bam, gone. He comes in with Enamorus. Now, if you guys don't know what Enamorus is, that is an incarnate form, basically similar to the previous Gen 5 Genies. Now, he goes in for the Tera Ground, and I'm going to be honest with you here. He got me good here. I actually ended up swapping in my Hisui Goodra, and as you guys know, it is a Steel Dragon type, so Steel is not really the best typing to go up against Ground. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. A lot of Pokemon are probably going to go to a Terrestrial Steel type, and probably going to try to take on this Enamorus, because it is actually a Fairy Flying type Pokemon. So, I know right now my Goodra is not in a good position, but I don't really have too much of a safe swap. Now, interesting thing is that Retro actually goes in and gets the swap, and he goes into Axe, which is actually his Cleaver. Now, if you guys don't know what Cleaver is, if you guys never played Legends Arceus or never looked it up, that is an evolution of Scyther. That's right, pretty fantastic evolution if you ask me. Definitely way more cool than Scizor is. But we end up getting hit there, and I'm pretty sure that just knocks us out. Now, the interesting fact with the Kleavor is there's an attack onto it called Stone Axe, and that actually is going to set up some stealth rocks around your entire team, so that's pretty cool. There are a couple of other Pokemon that have that capability as well. For example, Samurott here has an attack onto him called Ceaseless Edge. I think it's Ceaseless Edge? I don't know. Ceaseless Edge. Yeah, probably. Anyways, if I mispronounce it, I apologize. But when you use that attack, it actually ends up putting some spikes around your opponent's team. And you can have up to, I believe, 3 of those spikes set up. He's going to withdraw his Kleavor, and he's actually going to go back into his Decidueye. Now, of course, I've got Razor Shell, and Razor Shell isn't going to be very effective onto this grass fighting type Pokemon. But Samurott has an ability called Sharpness, and it actually increases his attack stat by 30 on his moves. So I actually end up having all moves that are pretty much sword-like type moves. So we end up going in for the Tera Electric here. I think that's probably the best option. Now, I just want to make it clear, I haven't battled with this team before, and I made the team the same day that we battled. So it's actually kind of interesting to see how this battle actually turns out. He goes in for the U-turn, and I think if I didn't go for that Tera Electric, I would have definitely just been one-shotted and probably destroyed here. So he swaps out his Decidueye, he goes into his own Samurott, and I kind of have a thing for that. I have Sacred Sword here. So Sacred Sword obviously is a fighting type move, and with Samurott being a dark type Pokemon, just ends up one-shotting it. So I'm like, yes, this is great. Now, one thing I have to say is that when we did this battle, I was hooting, I was hollering, I was screaming. I was like, yes, I got this Samurott out. And, you know, Amber's in the next room going, what are you doing? But anyways, long story short, this Samurott, I'm going to be honest, Samurott, I didn't really play a playthrough with Samurott in Legends Arceus. I went with the Cyndaquil, Typhlosion, and so I haven't really been able to use this Samurott yet, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really impressed with the way that they've changed this Samurott. Definitely a cool Pokemon. Now, he comes in again with his Enamorus, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, okay, I don't really have any way to outspeed this thing. I know that its speed is well above 346 beneficial, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to Sucker Punch, see how much damage I can actually get off onto this ground-type flying fairy goblin, and we end up getting a serious amount of damage, which is pretty fantastic. I think it definitely had something to do with the life orb onto him, so I'm pretty happy about that. Samurott did its job and ended up getting knocked out, but we did a good amount of work. Now that the Enamorous is down to the red zone, I know for a fact that, you know, my Arcanine has extreme speed. So we're actually going to go in for an extreme speed here to be able to take out his Enamorous. Now, my Hisuian Arcanine actually has Head Smash, Raging Fury, Extreme Speed, and Wild Charge. Now, Wild Charge, I kind of figured if I put a Tera Water onto him, then I would be able to resist my 4x weakness to water. And if I had the Wild Charge, I'd be able to basically retaliate back onto any water type that comes in. So now in this situation, obviously we don't get to see the Tera Water onto the Arcanine because we've already gone for the Tera Electric with the Samurott. Goodra comes back into the battle, and with the Goodra, I know that it's more of a special defensive Pokemon. However, I know that if you did do a max defense, and if there was an Assault Vest, you know, it probably would survive a lot better. The Arcanine itself, the only thing I can think of doing here is maybe going for the Raging Fury, and this is where I actually get to use this move. Super excited, super pumped up for it. It does a serious amount of work, and of course, you know, the Goodra retaliates with a Body Press. Now, even with the leftovers, I did enough damage onto the Goodra, so I know that the Raging Fury is going to be able to take him out the next turn. And then the only other Pokemon that I really have to worry about here is Kleavor. Now, I don't really know what to expect from Kleavor. I haven't really battled too much against them, but I know with my Kleavor, I went with an Impish set with Sharpness and a Passho berry, and that's just because, you know, it has a weakness to water because of the rock typing. However, I put the Stone Axe, X-Scissor, Close Combat, and Swords Dance onto it. Realistically, I could have probably put like a Defog, probably would have been a little bit cooler, but we are up against Retro's Kleavor here now. I'm pretty sure I could have outsped him. I think there's only about maybe 10 points or 5 points in the difference if you are max speed with the Kleavor and the Arcanine. I was trying to do some calcs back when I was creating the team because I know that Kleavor is going to be widely used. That with Ursaluna, I guess that's been a pretty interesting Pokemon, but he comes back into his Decidueye, and this is going to be the game because we're going to be able to go for the extreme speed. Now, I'm going to put up a rental code in the video and in the description for you guys for later use if you'd like to use this team. Thank you very much, Retro, for the battle, and I hope you guys all had a fantastic day. Cheers.